Hello and welcome back to Madmen with a Box, our weekly live stream here to talk about all the Doctor Who news plus our review at the end of the stream, which will be The War Games, the final second Doctor story in Classic Who, the final story of season 6, I believe. To my left, not present because now he is.
Gotta get a Baja Blast.
Baja Blast of all things, the least important thing in existence.
See,
Professor Pixel.
Unlike Jimmy, who went out for milk and said he was going to come back later, I came back.
No, that's true. That's true. And below us, we have one of our guests. We have another guest, maybe appearing later on, but our first guest, Joe Corallo.
Hello.
Now, we have some news. Pixel, what should we start with?
Do you like to read?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all the books I haven't finished yet, but sure, yes.
Oh, here's 3 more.
Oh, God.
New adventures for the Doctor and Ruby Sunday. Coming to your bookshelf. Caged, Eden Rebellion, and Ruby Red. Hardback.
Yes.
I'm very excited for that.
Yes, coming out this year in hardback and in audiobook form. I'm wondering if they're going to bring back, because that was the whole thing they had during like RTD's era, was the whole was it New Series Adventures? Yeah, that's what it was called. So the new series adventures. They had all the different books with the whatever Doctor and companion it was at the time. I vaguely remember reading one at a library. I could not tell you what it was, but I remember reading it. It may have been one of the Dalek ones they had.
Maybe.
Because they had a couple of Dalek ones. I think I read one of it. I think it was 10th Doctor and Rose, maybe?
I have a...
Well, no, I think maybe it was 10th Doctor and Martha. I don't know. This was when I was very young. Not in appearance, but in actual age. Very young. But no, I'm interested. Especially Ruby Red, which is written by Georgia Cook. Plague of the
Cybermen? Yes.
Cybermen, yes. Especially Georgia Cook. I've listened to a few of her Big Finish stories. They're really good. So Ruby Red, I'll especially be picking up because I enjoy her work. So.
And what's the chances of a book being titled Ruby Red and one of the companions being named Ruby and it not having to do anything with that? We'll most likely be getting this.
Yeah, most likely.
These covers are really cool though. I really like them.
I really enjoy these covers. They're really good.
I know I gave the novelization of
Church on Ruby Road.
Yes, because I'm a sucker for the Target novelizations. Following the format, it's very nice, those covers. But this is closer to that, but I do like these. They're very nice. Okay, next. Speaking of covers, featured on Doctor Who magazine is the logo for Doctor Who magazine twice with the Beatles.
I actually did not notice that. Why is their logo on there twice?
Yeah, that's not great.
Guys, we really need to remind them that this is the Doctor Who magazine. Put it on there twice. But sir, it doesn't fit with what we're trying to replicate.
Well, don't worry, because if you order the physical versions through their subscription, you get it without that logo there.
Well, that's all right then.
Yes.
Well, maybe it's an ironic thing because it's in mono, but the logo's twice.
Oh God.
They don't look like the Beatles at all.
But no, yes, latest cover for Doctor Who magazine. based off the Devil's Cord, which is the second episode of the upcoming season. I believe, yeah, it's the second episode, our big music episode with Jinx Monsoon's character, and of course the Beatles, which a lot of people are not happy that they don't look anything like the Beatles, which I think might be the point of the episode.
Well, you know, when it's
So I feel like they kind of maybe spoiled something with this, because I feel like with the actors not looking like the Beatles, that could be the whole twist with the episode.
I don't think so. I think it's just bad.
It's just bad casting.
It's just bad visual casting. We don't know how.
Even then, like you don't have to like. Not every person that's portrayed an actual like living person or celebrity, etc. Look at this. That's an unfortunate close up. Look, they don't always look accurate, but this one, I feel like everyone's just been saying like, none of them look like the Beatles, which lends credence to the whole thing that this could be a whole like, yeah, what if the Beatles just weren't an actual thing? They weren't an actual band or something, or it was another group of people and then something happened. Don't know. It feels like that could be the case. Like there's a good comparison to like I'm sorry, nothing against the actors themselves, but they look nothing like them. Not even like remotely.
But there's a reason why it's showing.
Yes, they all. This is all an elaborate sequel to that one segment from The Mind Robber. Knowing how much Russell's a Doctor Who fan, he would probably do that. Hello, Ishan. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, but yeah, no, I do kind of love that idea. I would love if this was a sequel to Mind Robber.
That one bit.
I love how it's just like, here's this new season. We're rebranding it to season 1. We're going to get all these new people in. Second episode, you better fucking watch The Mind Robber. What's that? You don't live in the UK? So you can't watch it?
We have to start debating which episode is going to be the Dalek episode, because I realized a few weeks ago that we can't have a season 1 of Doctor Who without the Daleks in it. It should not be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. Come on.
I don't care.
I care.
Give him a rest. Give him
we're going
bloody
through
rest
right now.
Before we get into this, that's something we can talk about. Yeah, there's this big theory going on that Sutek is the big bad of this new season because of the Triad technology. It's Susan Triad technology, Susan Tech, Sue Tech.
Yeah,
and I feel like, wow. I guess every Doctor Who fan is Mr. Fantastic with that level of reach. Guys, what if we took the Sue from Susan and the Tech from Technology, put them together? What does it sound like? That guy that was in the Pyramids of Mars, he's definitely coming back as the main antagonist.
So there's a little more to it than that, I will say. Because
did they see sand in the trailer and thought, sand, pyramids?
Well, that is one of those breaches I saw. No, it's just that the mention of gods and greater beings coming, and then the visual, like the portal to Sutek's realm, does match the space theme around the promotional material. It's reaching, yes, but it's more than just that one bit of sand.
But I kind of love that as a fuck you to the concept of this being series 1, though.
Yeah, just it's being so tied back to classic Who.
Yeah, like just
I mean,
I
I'd be down for Sutek returning. I just think these
Mhm.
theories are it's a lot of reach.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Sutek is actually Ruby's father. Daddy
Sure,
issues.
why not?
But how could Sutek be Ruby's father when Ruby's the Mara or some other villain?
Yeah, Ruby is the Mara, or the Rani,
Wait a minute.
all the meddling monk,
Meddling monk,
Guy is
or maybe the
From-
war chief from the end of War Games.
What if she's
Yeah,
actually
Maybe he
Susan?
regenerated into Ruby. And
Yeah.
tie into War Games.
This is just Susan regenerated. There we go.
Yeah.
Susan
Susan
Tech.
Yeah. Oh, maybe
Susan
she's
is-
Barbara.
Yeah.
Why not?
This is
Fuck
the encapsulation of like average Doctor Who theorizing on the internet.
It's so much fun though.
Yeah, she's young Barbara. We don't know enough about Barbara's backstory. How do we not know this is how she was
Yeah,
raised?
exactly.
Huh?
Maybe she
Dye
changed
her
her
hair?
name to Barbara for some reason.
And dye her hair.
Yeah.
Maybe Ruby was short for Barbara in this only one instance.
There's an R and a B in both Ruby and Barbara. Hello, people, wake up.
True. True.
Sean says Ruby is Barbara and Ian's grandchild. Maybe.
That's a theory.
Yeah, fuck it. Again, who
Why not?
cares? Do it.
Connect everything back to Classic Who for this new season that's trying to get in new viewers.
Yes, indeed. There you go.
Maybe
Well,
Ruby has been Syl this whole time.
Well, you know, in that one bit of the trailer, she does become a green bug thing. It's right there.
It's right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
Joe is piecing it all together.
Speaking of Classic Who and returning to it in some degree, yes, the Sixth Doctor is on trial again for trials. The trials of a Time Lord. Get it? It's not just one trial; it's multiple.
Yeah.
But it's not.
And-
Is it taking place in court at all? No.
No, it's not. It's not the literal like legal like a trial.
I am being gypped right now.
I don't care.
Well,
The Sixth
More
Doctor's
Sixth Doctor for me.
The best Doctor's best stories take place in a courtroom.
I don't remember Time Lash being in a courtroom.
No.
Or two doctors. Or Vengeance on Varos.
right?
Or Twin Dilemma. Actually, no. No, Vengeance on Varos maybe they technically had that. No, they didn't really have a trial, but.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done now.
You couldn't reach anymore.
I couldn't reach anymore. Who am I, the Doctor Who fandom on the internet?
Susan.
Or you know what? Maybe fuck it. They should just remake Shada again.
Yes. What if
Just
Ruby
do that.
Shada?
Yep. Fuck it. Do it. Why not?
Do it.
Who cares?
Let's do it again. Just do Shada, but it's the 15th Doctor this time.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. Like, give every Doctor Shada.
I would kind of love if they did. Why not?
Why not? It's just an event they all have to repeat because for a reason that is not explained, the events of one Shada are undone, but it has to be redone in order to keep the timeline intact. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same Doctor and companion. Actually, no, fuck it. It's just Romana as the companion for every Doctor.
Yes.
You see, it's simply Shada is simply the friends we made along the way.
It is.
Sure.
But no, we're deviating from this. No, so yes, the next Six Doctor Adventures box set to come out from Big Finish is The Trials of a Time Lord. It sees the Doctor and Mel reunite with Perry. So interesting. We haven't had this. I don't think we've ever, except very kind of briefly in the Quinn Dilemma, we haven't had the Doctor, Mel, and Perry as a trio, as traveling together. David Banks, the cyber leader, is returning to reprise that role. Very interesting.
Yes.
It is one big story that is separated into 6 parts. So I am very excited. Quinn Dilemma was really, really good. Pixel and I did a review on that. Check it out. So I have high hopes for this one as well.
I think this will be excellent.
Yeah. Totally emotionless, by the way. I love how you were completely devoid of emotion in that.
Yes, I could tell that you were definitely a Cyberman. I don't knock on him. I love that era. I love that era of Cybermen.
Oh, I love that era so much.
They were my first classic Who Cybermen. I'm like, I love them.
It's
explode the bomb.
Explode the bomb. He does nothing but interfere.
The tall one with the fair hair, even under the threat of death, he has the arrogance of a Time Lord.
Ishan asks, is this the later Perry set after Perry in the Piscon Paradox and the Sixth Doctor and Perry box set? I'm going to assume so. If this is Sixth Doctor and Mel and they just happen upon Perry, I assume it is. We won't know until we listen to the box set.
Why not? Why not? It's wild. The Sixth Doctor is just traveling with Perry at first, and we just throw Mel in there to confuse the timeline even more. I think that would be better.
Why not?
Why don't we think about how the Cybermen really miss the chance of having a well-prepared meal? It's a great visual that they're all just sitting down like at like Popeyes or something and just being like, we have really been missing out. Pass the hot sauce. It's good to feel.
I wish I could love, because I would love this chicken from Popeyes.
What's going on? What's happening? What have we done?
Let's talk about Christopher Eccleston getting another paycheck from Big Finish.
Woo! Let's go. Chris getting another paycheck.
So, this time, he is with River Song in Starcross.
Woo!
And
she's going to be in every story. So this is Ninth Doctor with another character we know, but at least they're in more than just the one story at the end.
I'm pretty sure these are connected. When I read the synopsis, it seemed connected to me. Like 1, 2, and 3. It's one story. I mean, we can open it right now and find out. We'll do it together.
Daring rescue mission for Frobisher.
Hell yeah, bring him back.
Yeah,
come on.
Ninth Doctor Frobisher.
That's just going to be the Ninth Doctor's like range now. It's just him meeting just other Doctor Who characters,
but never another Doctor.
Because no.
So yes, Sean, the 10th Doctor and River Song box set wasn't connected, but I'm pretty sure
the theme was just them two meeting.
Yeah. Swipe right. There are strange rumors on Planet Krell. People have been vanishing. Mysterious matchmaker. Populace paired up with special dating app. Rejecting too many suitors can have a fatal consequence. They meet up again, but it's not a match made in heaven. After locking onto an unusual algorithm, I can't remember.
I think this the connecting theme is River Song appearing. So this
hope.
could be.
I hope not. I hope not, Landry, Q, Walker. I hope not.
Excellent.
Hello.
Hey, we've been waiting for you.
No, you can't start without me. Then I assume you've been going through the news.
Yes, we're still going through.
What? No, I said don't start without me.
Oh, okay.
I said don't. Wait for me.
I'm going to go back to your tweet right now. I'm going to look. Don't. If I misread that,
no, that's a joke. Don't wait for me.
Don't wait for me is what you said.
Yeah, don't wait for me.
Yeah. Didn't you see the
those
little comma? That very small comma.
It's like the "Let's eat grandma" thing.
Sean asks, "Are you guys going to buy a full series of Ninth Doctor Adventure box sets?" A lot of people have been disappointed with the last few ones. Yeah, I've given up. They've just been the same stuff. They're not doing anything different because Christopher Eccleston.
You're not going to do it for River Song?
No.
Okay.
Because I know how it's going to end. He has to forget her.
I mean,
He always has to forget her.
it's just the rules.
But she's so mysterious.
You know the rules. You know the rules, and so do I.
No,
It is a gimmick that loses traction over time. It worked really well during the Matt Smith era with a touch of it in the Capaldi era, but even then it was starting to wear a little thin. I think but for the people who like it, they love it, and it is good that it is there for them. I'm glad they have it. It doesn't click for me, the continuing story of that.
And the way she's able to do it every single time successfully, he never learns.
Girl power! Yay!
Like when he meets himself,
Very well acted scene.
Okay, let's take a break from the Big Finish stuff. Let's talk about the blue carpet, because for the season 1 premiere, they went ahead, had a thing. They were all there. They were taking photos. They're all looking nice.
Here's all the cast and a member of Queen. Look, everyone there is like someone that actually has something to do with Doctor Who, with like this season in particular, and then like is one of the guys from Queen.
That's the great strange. John Pertwee cosplay.
yeah, that's actually they just confirmed their John Pertwee, their third Doctor recast. Guys, look, Peter Capaldi's come back. I told you, 12th Doctor's back. The comment answers it. Is he in it?
No, Brian May is Anita Dobson's husband.
Oh, husband.
Mrs. Flood's husband.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Well, now the tweet's right there in front of your face.
I can see that now. I just still think it's, even without that context, I still think it's odd that, like, everyone here is in Doctor Who. Apart from that guy. Apart from him. Apart from Brian May.
Oh, Brian May. Brian May. Everybody's obsessed with Brian May.
Because he's the odd one out. Yes, he's married to an Anita Dobson, but I don't think anyone knew that.
Never seen a Brian May, have you?
No. But no, we're almost there for season 1, aren't we? Like we're in May now.
It's next month. Next week.
Oh Jesus Christ! It's next week already.
When? What's the premiere date?
It's technically for us in America. It's going to be coming out the evening of the 10th.
Yes. And when do the people in England get it?
Midnight.
Midnight 11th.
So after us?
No, we all.
Or
get
just
it
because of the time zone, we get it at a
Time
reasonable hour, and they get it at an
Yeah.
unreasonable hour.
So
And May 11th is my birthday.
What-
so
what
that's
they
Hey!
it's gonna be.
And I
Happy
know
birthday.
this was we talked about this weeks ago when they announced this. What they're basically doing is they are releasing it on their all streaming platforms on the BBC iPlayer at midnight, and everywhere else is just following along to that. So
Right, according to what the time
it's
zone
midnight.
is.
Oh, look, it's May 11th. It's time for Doctor Who. And then later that day on the 11th, on the actual BBC channel, they will show Doctor Who.
Yeah. I haven't been following anything at all. No news, no anything, no release date. I've just been too busy. But, I'll be watching it the minute it comes out.
Yeah.
They're doing a 2
So-
episode premiere May 11th. So Wednesday the 15th, we will be reviewing the first 2 episodes.
Excellent.
news.
I'll be there for that. I will definitely be there for that.
Will Joe of the Corrales be there? We'll have to
I should be.
Okay.
Better question, will Jimmy?
No.
Who?
Who? Jimmy who?
Jimmy who?
The first question, the oldest question in existence. Jimmy where?
Yeah. I don't even know that guy. I don't even see him on Twitter anymore. What happened to him?
He appears
He's hard to miss.
every
Oh no.
Dang. I hope he's listening right now.
No, he's
Hey.
not.
I'm good with it.
And he's not even listening to us. Rude.
No.
It's going to turn into the let's talk about Jimmy.
This was his idea, and he's not listening to it.
Oh, this
It does
episode?
It just does devolve into.
I mean, it is one of the best episodes. Oh, yeah, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to the talk about Doctor
We'll
Who.
get to
We'll get
that.
to talk about the episode. Just so you know, let me know if there's noise issues on my, because I'm actually driving up to Sacramento right now from the Bay Area. So I'm in a car. That's how you usually drive places. So
You're just
hopefully the audio will be okay.
You're just a little warbly from time to time, but it's nothing too bad.
Okay, good.
My ears haven't been murdered yet.
Yet.
Yes.
You
All right. So explain this. Explain this concept of Doctor Who to me. Who's this guy again? What's his deal?
So
Who is he?
imagine a hermit that travels in a blue box through time and space with young companions just following him along. He's a crazy old man with these weird companions.
There's a crazy old man in a blue box that takes your kids away.
Takes your kids away. That's Doctor Who, right to a T.
Yeah.
Jesus, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jimmy Savile was Doctor Who.
Yeah. Yeah. More likely to take a young, attractive woman than not. Sure. That's-
But he doesn't discriminate. There's been a
No.
Scotsman
There has
who wore a kilt.
all the time.
Yes, Connor. Jimmy question mark.
Who?
That's the new Doctor Who logo. Jimmy question mark. They're just getting rid of the Who. They just think the question mark is the implication.
I've joked about changing the intro to get rid of the Jimmy Bible, but I think we should lean into it. We'll just change the entire name. Our podcast will now be Jimmy Who.
Why can't you send us a super chat? Because I don't think we've reached the requirements to get money on this channel.
No. We would need, 500 subscribers and
What do we have?
not.
364.
Really?
Yeah,
Or just
we
make that number up.
a little while. See,
It says right here on the. I'm looking at it. It says 364.
All right. That's not
when
bad.
we started this channel, we did start picking up a following. We got really far ahead, and then all excitement for Doctor Who kind of just died at once. Kind of boosted back up, but we were already slower than before.
Right. But now we're going to get a weekly show again. We'll see how that goes. That could really add some lifeblood into it.
It is it's actually 500 subscribers for for super chats and stuff like that, it's 500 subscribers.
Let's make it happen.
It's 1,000 to monetize your videos.
Yeah.
Which most of the time it will probably get claimed by the BBC, but
they own us. Can
Jimmy guest star? Maybe. It's not like there's a group chat where we send this link every week that you can see.
Every single week. And occasionally he will talk in there. He'll send a
When was the last time he was on?
Might have been for the 60th.
I mean, in all fairness, it's not like I haven't missed a bunch myself.
Or Christmas.
I started working nights. I don't know what his excuse is.
I think his is also work.
Works night. In comedy.
Well, that comedy. I saw one of his bits. It was pretty funny, actually. I was impressed. Yeah.
Jimmy's a regular guest on my other podcast.
Get
him over here.
What's your other podcast?
Tell him to fucking come back. He said he's going out for cigarettes. Where is he?
Actually, he said it the British way. Maybe he wasn't going for cigarettes.
Okay.
For a Laugh podcast. Connor, I have been watching that podcast. You guys are great. It's hilarious.
Is Jimmy there?
I don't see Jimmy. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't read the comments.
Well, I gotta check this podcast out then. For I miss Jimmy.
For Jimmy, just to see if Jimmy's there.
Imagine if
Get out of here.
Stop it, Chris. Stop exposing you. Okay. One last, I think, actual new news for the coming series to talk about. It seems we've had like 3 weekly adverts this past week talking about the new season of Doctor Who and everything to expect. And there's this one scene that we saw where the Doctor, Shooty, is screaming out of the TARDIS. That clip has changed a couple times between each take. It's always him screaming, but the background at one point was his white TARDIS console room, and then it's shifted to something that's very familiar if you got to see the Tales of the TARDIS series, which I did not because I'm American. But it looks very similar to that console room for the memory TARDIS. Yeah.
Yes. But then there's other shots where it's Shooty's TARDIS. So,
But there was one shot that showed Shooty's TARDIS. The doors were partially open still, and if you look in the windows, it doesn't look like it's showing the inside of Shooty's TARDIS. It's showing that warm orange that's in that memory TARDIS right there. So it's leaning towards that.
We won't know until the episode comes out. We can theorize.
But that's
you know how much the Doctor Who community loves to theorize, and most of the time it's very wrong.
Yeah, that TARDIS room is the Ranny.
It's not even just the Rani's TARDIS, it's just the sheet. It's the
just
TARDIS.
the Ranny, yeah.
So
That's the twist.
Given she loves to do experiments, she would try and do something like that.
Yeah, she would.
But she would use someone else. She wouldn't use herself. She would use someone else to do that.
I think the big twist for us is that Joe Corallo is actually the new Jimmy. There we go.
Yeah, do you have a dustbin you can just bring in for no reason and say this is where your opinions go?
Not in this room, but
that was so great.
that was a funny moment. Yeah.
Going out. See, Jimmy, we had good memories with you. Why'd you have to end?
He's not dead.
He's
just not here.
I'm not sure half the time.
But no, yeah, memory TARDIS. It looks like it's possibly being used. And given the outfit that Shooty wears, it's in the Mel episode. And particularly with the whole like things that they did with the memory TARDIS, it was a classic Doctor with their companion, or two classic companions for the case of Stephen and Vicky.
Oh, Jimmy appear in the memory TARDIS.
now wait, in all seriousness though, like Mel could be the Rani. She's done it before.
I have seen people say that. People have been saying that. Oh, Mel is actually the Rani because, sure, it's happened.
She did it before. Why not?
Her wig has gotten a lot better.
Well, I mean, the budget's a little higher than it was for Time in the Rani, so like, yeah.
That's right. The Rani, she's gotten really convincing. Okay. Let's talk about a fifth Doctor in Wonderland. Hey, look, it's the fifth Doctor. He's in Wonderland.
Woo!
Yeah,
I love the cover
for that. Yeah, no, it's neat.
Paul, I could never know how to pronounce that name. Mars. It's not Maggers. I think it's Mars. I think it's supposed to be like a silent G, or Mags is a silent R.
Okay.
He's written for Doctor. He's written for Doctor Who numerous times, and is out with a new book sometime this year. Doctor Who in Wonderland, which features the Fifth Doctor and Tegan. Just the Fifth Doctor and Tegan. Or is that supposed to be Nissa in the background, maybe?
That might be Nissa, yeah.
Because I don't think there's ever been a time...
That's not Nissa.
No.
That's not Nissa.
Okay, because it's a weird placement, because I don't think there's ever been a time where it's just been the Doctor and Tegan. And with what Tegan is wearing, this is post-Arc of Infinity.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever wanted a time when it was just him and Tegan.
Because they would kill each other?
It would so kill each other.
That's why they need like a Turlo or a Nissa there to like diffuse them.
Maybe this takes place in the pocket season that they developed when he's like, when she's running out after Resurrection of the Daleks. Maybe they'll just make some shit up and just be like, the Fifth Doctor leaves Turlo behind briefly so he can try to stop, Tegan from escaping, and they go on hundreds of adventures in this tiny moment somehow.
Don't give Big Finish any ideas.
They already have all the ideas.
Connor says, jokes aside, I do love the show. Would love to come on for Boom and review it. That's the Stephen Moffat episode. Absolutely. We'd love to have you here. Yeah, talk to Pixel. I don't know. He's the one that runs these things.
Kind of, sort of.
Actually, why not? Just talk to Jimmy.
Talk to Jimmy.
Jimmy can organize.
See what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah, this is a cover.
It's a good looking cover. It's a great looking cover. Next up.
It's time. It's time for the Three Doctors 2.
Yes. Oh no, we've lost Landry. No. It was so close.
Silent for far too long. I figured that he was kicked off by the mobile data. Yeah.
I don't know if Landry is as heartbroken about having dropped, but
look at that. There he is. He's back.
Hello.
There he is. He's back.
Hello. You arrived just in time. We're just starting to talk about the Three Doctors 2.
I don't know anything about this. Tell me.
Yes, so Big Finish is releasing 2 new stories for their Lost Stories range, where they adapt original plots, plans, scripts of stories that never made it into Doctor Who.
Okay.
So the first one, Death World, is the original plot for what ended up being the Three Doctors.
Nice. That's exciting.
So it's the original plan of the first, second, and third Doctor.
Is this is full cast with people doing the voices of the first, second, and third?
Yes. So it's the whole
okay.
They are trapped in a game between the Lord President of Gallifrey, not named, it's just the Lord President of Gallifrey against death itself in a game of chess.
That's great. I love this.
It is. I'm very excited for this. And then the second story.
Are we going to review this one? We can review this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. We absolutely will. The second story will be Operation Werewolf, which is the second Doctor, Jamie and Zoe, arriving, I believe the synopsis said, 4 days before D-Day. Something goes amiss. Something to do with werewolves, I assume.
Which, this is just open to anybody. If you haven't heard Michael Troughton, the son, Patrick Troughton, doing the...
Not only just the son, the second son.
The second son, yes.
Very fitting. The second son of the second Doctor now voices the second Doctor.
Is he? That's who they got doing the voice of the second Doctor. That makes complete sense. But no Sean Pertwee for John Pertwee, I assume.
No, it's still Tim Treloar.
Oh, I heard a little of that. It was good. So.
Yeah, he does a good job. And of course, John Colshaw is the Brigadier, which
He's great as the Brigadier.
Wait, who's doing the first Doctor?
Stephen Noonan.
So they don't have what's his name anymore, who was from the Harry Potter movies, played him in the.
No, but he is coming back for a Unbound First Doctor box set.
Okay.
Where, if I remember correctly, it's that cast. It's that cast from Adventures in Time, Space and Time, playing the First Doctor, Susan, Ian, and Barbara. But if I remember correctly, it's based off the Peter Cushing films.
Weird.
More than the...
Yeah, so they're doing like Doctor Who with Doctor Who. It's a weird premise. But no, Stephen Noonan has done 3 box sets as the First Doctor. Really good. We love Stephen Noonan as the First Doctor. He may not sound exactly like William Hartnell, but he gets the tones and the expressions and the mannerisms down very well.
I have to finish. I got about halfway through the other First Doctor ones they did with. I got to where they were in Japan, feudal Japan, and I didn't finish that one yet. But I got to jump back into that stuff. It's good.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty excited for the 3 Doctors too.
Yes, the 3 Doctors too.
That sounds amazing.
The three Doctors.
3 Doctors
Again, yes. Now, what's our last piece of news?
It's one more 5th Doctor piece. They recover for the Great Beyond.
Yes, 5th Doctor story, Big Finish story with Nyssa, Tegan, and Adric. Great looking cover. It's one big story, so very happy with that. I'm loving the direction that they're going with now, where it's just like, let's just make it one big story. Just make it one big story. Because it's been working well, aside from the 7th Doctor, but that's a whole other can of worms. So yeah, I'll be getting this. Still need to listen to Dream Team, though. I haven't listened to that yet, but I will be getting this one.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been really diving into Doctor Strange. I gotta admit,
has not had any misses so far.
Yeah. I just haven't, It's one of those eras. I have too much 6th Doctor to consume, and then there's more 3rd Doctor, and then before you know it, more 2nd Doctor will be coming.
That's true. Now,
my priority set.
Now we reach the end of our stream with our review, and the dice have spoken, and they have landed on a very much anticipated story. It's always one that we kept throwing around, but then we decided, nope, we'll let the dice pick for us. So the dice have landed on the 7th and final serial of season 6 of Doctor Who, The War Games, written by Terrence Dicks and Malcolm Hulke, starring Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor. Second Doctor, Jamie and Zoe find themselves trapped in what seemingly is one of the world wars, but they find themselves encountering different combatants. Romans. You have Civil War soldiers. Find out these are the machinations of the warlords led by the mysterious war chief. Now, Joe, your thoughts on the war games and why war crimes maybe okay? I don't know if the Doctor does them.
I'm entirely sure, but it's so rare to watch a Doctor Who, a classic Doctor Who serial that's like over 6 episodes that couldn't be trimmed down, or at the very least doesn't feel really padded. Because like I think you could probably technically, like trim this down a little bit, but
I will say still getting constantly captured.
Yeah, the captured,
I feel like you could have kind of, but that they at least kind of serve a purpose for the narrative. I think it just them getting captured again and again is just like, okay.
Yeah, it's a little less egregious than some other instances, I think, because at least it's like, oh, they're getting captured in another world, and like they're at least like moving around, and it's not like the Silurians capturing John Pertwee like 3 times or whatever. But it's so I like how that works. It's such a like a heady kind of sci-fi concept that I feel like before this, like Doctor Who didn't quite hit that level of like there's the Dalek Master Plan, there's a few other things, but just in terms of not a Dalek story, but like this
epic,
larger, intricate kind of story, hitting these sort of like moral questions with the Doctor more personally, as this is like the Doctor's people and all that. Like it changes things a bit. This is such a game changer, I think, for the whole series. Obviously, beyond the fact that it sets up the, Pertwee being the Earthbound Doctor for so long, but yeah, it really works. Everyone's doing a great job. I think it's great that this is the longest serial Troughton had, and it's the last one. Like it has that epic feel. It feels like a proper send-off for Patrick Troughton. We are so lucky that a serial of this length did survive from that era.
Yeah.
When it's so rare to find, like, we're never gonna finish like Dalek Master Plan, and like there's some of these others that like fuck it, it's never gonna happen. But to have all of this, to have such a pivotal story in its entirety is like, what a blessing.
I can.
Thank you.
Yes. Landry, your thoughts?
Is he here? Landry of the Q Walkers.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Wow.
Hello.
There we go.
Yes, you're back.
Yes.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It is. This episode is one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes of all time. It is, so much of modern Doctor Who finds genesis in this era, if not this episode. I mean, the concept of the Time Lords, the explanation for, so much of the Doctor's lore, the peek behind the curtains of who he's really been all this time, encountering, and admittedly, it's not the first member of his race that he encountered. Notably, of course, we had Susan, but that's a relative, and then we had the meddling monk, although I'll get to that in a second. But the idea of somebody who's basically an anti-version of the Doctor, who's going around and helping alien civilizations meddle with Earth, the opposite of what the Doctor does. Specifically trying to con them with, TARDIS technology. Great episode. And I love that while it is very long and it is very decompressed, it doesn't really bother me because you just go through this journey with it. Like the first couple of episodes of this 10-episode arc, you're dealing with these war zones, and then suddenly you're in that control center place between that's straight out of this weird Devo 60s spiral black and white alien world. That's brilliant. I love the jump from World War whatever into bizarre alien town. And the moment the Doctor and the War Chief first see each other has got to be one of my favorite moments of classic Who, because they look at each other and they know exactly who the other is. Not maybe by name they know what they are. They know they're each dealing with a member of their own race just on sight, which we've only ever. They really did something similar when the Doctor first encounters when Yana wakes up, right?
Yeah.
When Yana and they look at each other, there's that same kind of moment. I love that recognition moment of what they are. Even if we argue that the War Chief and the Doctor don't know who each other is, they know what each other is. There's just a lot to love about this one. And I don't think we have modern Who. I don't think modern Who looks the same without this serial. It does have some really outdated racial stereotypes that are hard to get past.
Sure.
Definitely a landmine of the era, and an unfortunate one that in an otherwise long but brilliant run. That's my. I have other thoughts, but that's my initial reaction.
Yeah.
My initial reaction is much the same of, damn, this is good Doctor Who. This is some of the best Doctor Who. It's so early in the series comparatively, but it's such a strong story. All 10 episodes. I thought it was 12 when we talked about it 2 weeks ago. I thought it was 12 parts. So I was like, oh yeah, full 12 parts. Let's go. And Chris had to remind me, no, it's just 10. And I was like a little disappointed. That's 2 more episodes I was missing. But it's really so strong with 10 full episodes. Well, full is 2.5 hours back then. Really strong episodes. You do not feel like you are slowing down. You do not feel like, okay, let's get on with it. Continue. Everything is building up to moments right towards the end. And truly, I think one of the best send-offs for a Doctor.
Yeah.
And Doctor.
Yep.
Yes, so for me, already knew about the story, knew everything about it, but this was my first time actually watching it outside of, clips of, obviously the Doctors. Yeah. It was my first time watching the War Games. Outside of clips of the Doctor on trial, getting his sentence, the regeneration, him seeing the War Chief, and recognizing him, them recognizing each other. Outside of that, never properly watched the War Games. And yes, it's great. It's good. Sure, yes, they do get captured a lot. It is a repeating thing. But it does at least serve a kind of a narrative purpose and to explore more of what this setting is and what is actually going on. It furthers it. It's not just like it's not there to just pad the runtime because it's 10 episodes. We need them to constantly get captured because we need something to happen in this episode because we have this episode count and we need to pad 30 minutes. So no, it works in its favor. It's yes, it happens a bit, but at least works effectively in this story.
And would you really notice if you were watching it week by week with only 30 minutes every single week?
Right, yeah, true. That's true. I'd have to think about how it would have been like watching it back then.
For 2.5 months. Imagine watching this for 2.5 months.
Yeah, just one story for 2.5 months. Yeah. Jesus. God. Yeah. Just haven't tried to remember anything what happened last week.
This is how you separate the boys from the men.
I'll tell you, this is a thing that I think is we're going to, there's increasingly less of people around who lived through this, but the generational divide of you had to wait till the show was on and then wait and hope that nothing happened in your life that made you miss it or it wasn't preempted or whatever, and just anxiously wait. My earliest Doctor Who episodes were waiting for that one day a week to sit down and hope that on my little 12-inch TV, I'd be able to get the reception to watch it. It is, there's a unique flavor to that experience. It is really lost. And when you watch old shows, we often judge the pacing.
Nowadays, with like a lot of shows doing the whole, this whole season's released on the day, and it kind of kills the conversations.
It does.
I really, even though I've grown up with the streaming services and that kind of format, I don't like it when you get all of it on one day. Because then, where's the discussion? Where's the anticipation for the next episode? It's much better 100%. When they do it just week by week. So you got people wanting to tune in, find out what's happening next. Can't do that now. It's like, well, next episode right now. Finish it in a day.
Yeah. And so when we watch these older episodes, we really have to watch it through the lens of what was it like waiting a week? And once it was off the air, you couldn't rewind it, you couldn't pause it, you couldn't watch it again. It was gone. It was gone forever. It's just gone. You had to just remember it. And so when they weren't even doing recaps back then. So the next episode comes on, you're on episode 7. What?
Oh, you're cutting out a bit, Landry.
Changes it. Oh, well, all right, you talk, I'll listen.
That's all right. But no, yeah, I really liked this episode. It is a really good send-off for the Second Doctor, and very important in the grand scheme of things for the Doctor, properly introducing his people, and just even if this was their only kind of appearance, you get the general gist of how they are compared to the Doctor, and also by comparison compared to the War Chief. We're just here to observe. That's it. Don't interfere. That's what you two did. That's why you're in trouble. We have this power, but we're not going to use it. Just going to look at things.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the War Chief's terror when he realizes what the Doctor is going to do when he builds the cube, the communications cube, which was great to see again in the Matt Smith.
Yes.
With the Corsair and all that. But don't do that. There's a thing, like we see it with Tennant, and again, back to he realizes there's another Time Lord. We see him show fear. When you see a character that you don't like, how do you make it the audience or the reader or viewer or whatever you're dealing with feel the intensity that you want them to feel. When you have a character become very serious about it, you show it to the Master. We were afraid of the Master's regeneration because David Tennant was afraid. His doctor freaked out, which was uncharacteristic. The War Chief, so far, we'd only seen him be smug, a little anxious, maybe at most. And then he's like begging the doctor, please don't do it. And that tells us what a big deal this is. It's masterclass writing. And it's an easy trick, but it's an important one. And a lot of times, writers miss this. You use this, and you use a character's reaction to tell the viewer how big of a deal this was. So when those Time Lords show up, we have that. We've already been told by the War Chief's reaction and the Doctor's tiredness about doing it that, oh my God, this is big. Brilliant writing.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, ratings. Where would we rate this? Out of 10, starting with Joe.
Definitely like a 9 out of 10, I think. I couldn't imagine giving it less than that. So.
Yeah. Like I would also agree 9 out of 10. It's a great story. It's a very iconic story. But I don't know. It's just something I can't describe it, but there's something there that can't make it a 10. I can't tell you what it is, but 9 just feels right.
Yeah.
It's still up there. It's still a really good story. It's a great story.
It doesn't speak to Chris like Sleep No More, but
yes, like Sleep No More is just a cinematic masterpiece. You know.
But Landry, your rating?
You know I've got 2, right?
Yes,
2
yes,
ratings.
yes.
We expect it. Yes.
For the second
Right.
Doctor.
Yeah, I would give this a 10 out of 10. And this is an issue with being a product of its time, and I totally can look past it. But if it makes it a little bit cringe. The racial stereotypes are a little hard to sit through today, and it's a bad choice of what is otherwise brilliant. That brings it down to an 8.5 for me because those are pretty egregious, but it is what it is. It's there. It would be a 10 for me otherwise, because I think that this is it's pitch perfect in so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're all 9 out of 10, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Because it's that good. It is that good.
Yeah.
I am trying to think of what really just sets it like, okay, I can't give it a 10 out of 10, but I can't really think about that. It isn't hitting in my mind. It isn't clicking like Chris. I don't know what it is, but there's just something not letting me give it the full love that I do feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so damn good.
It really is.
So good.
Just imagine what it must have been like, writing this episode and sitting there going, what if the Doctor encountered another member of his own race, except instead of helping humanity by stopping aliens, he helps aliens screw with humanity, and he arms them. He's selling them a fleet of TARDISes so they can spread war across the galaxy. I mean, that's bonkers on paper. And at the era, at the time, it was a game. It was a complete change for the show. They'd done nothing like that. The most we saw was a meddling monk, which does pave the way for this. But it is absolutely, if you're writing Doctor Who now, you're building on these shoulders. You're standing on these shoulders when you build. To write something when it hasn't been created before, that's where real genius happens. When any of us come in and work on stuff after someone else has already laid the groundwork, that's an easy job. But this was next level. It transformed the show for the rest of time.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. I would agree with that. Sean says 9 out of 10 for me. It drags a little in the middle, but the scale of the idea is astonishing to me, who has seen little of Classic Who. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Agreed.
Most of it is just travel to this era, travel here. There's aliens or this historical figure, but there's something big and personal for the Doctor.
Mm-hmm. And you really see it. Troughton delivers it.
Yes, he does. And I love the fact that even though he knows I have to bring my people here, he holds on to that little bit of hope he can get away.
It's so
he knows how powerful his people are, that even the war chief is afraid of them. And he still thinks, I can outsmart them. I can get away from this. But it doesn't. It just shows that he can't escape everything.
Some things are inevitable.
No. I mean, they functionally execute him. Functionally. They end one of his lives and exile him and take the knowledge of time travel from him. They lobotomize him temporarily. And then you come back, and use him. Within a season, they're showing up going, hey, we have missions for you. Use him as we could have another podcast just about how brilliant the follow-up of this was. Like how they played off of this concept, turning the Doctor into a fundamentally different kind of character, turning the show into a fundamentally different show. Like this episode sets the path for that so well to change the pivot in such a radical direction.
Yeah. So now that I think about it, it really shows that this is a really good story to show how different the Doctor is compared to every other Time Lord. And to show that, like, it's also, now that you mention it, it also shows that the Time Lords aren't the best. Yes, they might fancy it up a little, saying, we're forcing you to change your face. We'll give you the choice, though, if you want. We'll give you the choice, but we're also ripping knowledge out of your head and forcing you into exile. They're fancying it up, but they are literally executing him for the crime of just the crime of just wanting to explore. Yeah,
you've interfered.
Wanted to be involved with the universe instead of watching it, and just being like, okay, yes, there's bad stuff, but you still committed a crime, according to us. Yeah, and then
they recognize he did good.
Yeah,
they recognize he did good, but he still has to pay, and they are still merciless in that regard.
Yes.
Especially when we look at it retroactively.
But they did. You gotta admit, they did go ahead and they did give him a solid by sending him to his favorite place.
I mean, true. Yes, it could have been worse for literally anywhere else. And then even then, when they give him back knowledge of how to use the TARDIS, it's only because he helped them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they could use him.
Yes, and they still did after that.
This is a problem.
The big one being
where I start to have a problem with the three Doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Master, too. But the three Doctors, we'll call it the three Doctors 1 now, during the version we saw. This is one of the problems I have is they decided to come in and they were trying to make a bit of a lampoon against an anti-bureaucracy lampoon, an anti-government, anti-establishment. And they at that point, they decided to show to reframe the Time Lords in a way that we never quite got past, which is feckless bureaucrats or hapless bureaucrats. They are a little bit ineffectual. They're part of a bloated bureaucracy, and they're really a little ineffectual, and the Doctor can only zip in and save them. And that, while they've done some great stories with that version of the Time Lords, this original version, where they are so aloof and all-knowing that the implication is that everything they do is born from this sense that they are beyond the Doctor in the way the Doctor is beyond regular people. And I feel like we lost that halfway through the third Doctor's tenure, where the Time Lords became less than the Doctor. And I don't like that as much. Which made them less scary. They became pitiful in comparison. Where these Time Lords are gods. They are gods of time, and the Doctor is a young child amongst them. I much prefer that version of the Time Lords.
I mean, yeah.
Because with the third Doctor's era, there are people of two faces. They have to give off they still have to do the whole, we can't get involved. That's our rule. We're all knowing and powerful, but we don't use it. We're just observers. However, the Doctor's there. He can do stuff for us because he's in exile. So we're not really we're not kind of contradicting ourselves here, because we're getting a renegade. We're getting an exile to do it for us. He's someone that broke our rules, so it's okay if he does it, because that's his thing.
In other words, it's a standard. Oh, he's not our agent. He's rogue. We wash our hands.
Yeah, he's rogue,
and that's good. I like that. I don't mind that. That's not the problem. It's just that when they show them, they're oftentimes thinking, "Well, we can't do anything. Better call the Doctor. We're useless." It's like, come on.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do that. But okay, I have one other opinion about this that is immediately controversial, and I'm going to say 1,000% correct, that I've been holding on to.
Oh, no.
The War Chief is the master. I'm just saying it. The War Chief is totally the master. No. That is 100% the master.
I will say that when they eventually brought in the master, I could see they looked at the War Chief and got inspiration, because there is some very master traits with him. I don't like that theory, though, that they're the same person. I don't like that it always has to be just the one character. Has to be all these different people. I could see why they tried to connect the two before, because it seems very obvious. They share very similar traits.
I mean, they dress the same.
They dress the same.
They have the same fashion sense. They have the same goatee, and all their motifs are the same. I get it when we look at, say, the Ronnie, or even if you want to say the meddling monk. Hey, look, these are different characters. But man, for the War Chief, and especially the original Master, to be different characters is kind of like, but they're the same. It's like if Batman fought another clown and his name is the Laughing Guy or something. It's like, come on, man, that's the Joker. He just, maybe his coat is a different shade of purple, but it's still even purple. And of course, the first people to connect it and say this is the Master was the creators of the War Chief. They said, this is the Master, and it was later changed by the Virgin book publishers. I think changed it, because originally it was stated in the secondary material that yes, they are the same character, and then they retconned it.
Yeah, it was Terrence Dicks himself who retconned it.
Who retconned it?
Back
he had
teeth.
Right. Now let's get into that. Why? Terrence Dicks has an. Okay.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say Terrence Dicks had a. So Terrence Dicks is the one, because I'm driving, I can't double check, but correct me if I'm wrong. Terrence Dicks is the one who separates them, right? Who says no, they're two different characters.
Yes.
Now, this is where we get into something really interesting, because Terrence Dicks has a monetary motivation to do this, because he gets royalties if it's an original. He does not get royalties if he's using a pre-existing character, just like Terry Nation in the Daleks. The way the British copyright law works, it has to be original character. So by coming and going, no, I created this. I wasn't rehashing yours. I created something new. I get the royalties. It's that can't quite be ignored when we're looking at motivation here on this one.
Yeah, but yeah, like I think
so
expanded material. It's weird because the expanded material.
Couldn't hear you.
The expanded material loves to play with both.
Sorry,
ideas.
you guys cut out. I missed it all.
Are you back? Can you hear me?
You're good now?
Hello?
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 Romana is the master. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
we hear you. Do you hear us?
Okay. I said Romana is the master.
We heard
Yes,
that.
we heard that.
Everyone's the master.
Everyone's the master.
Okay.
I'm the master.
But no,
You're
I was going to say the novels love to play with both ideas. Like, yes, maybe they're the same person, maybe they're not, because you have Time Worm Exodus brings back the War Chief, and he's disfigured. He failed to regenerate, so he's in this weird, like almost body horror-esque form, where it's like the next incarnation is kind of like failed to grow out of his body. And then when he properly dies, he goes back to his War Chief appearance. But then you have like goth opera implies that they're the same person, because one of the Doctor's odd friends mentions like, oh, your group, there was you, Mortimus, Rani, and that damn Magnus. And it's like, of those, why wouldn't you mention the Master? He's one of the more like figureheads of their friend group, but mention Magnus, who they always name as the War Chief.
Right.
It's like, okay, so maybe they are the same person, but yeah, it's the expanded material is very wishy-washy. They loved to play both sides because they just like that kind of conversation theory that yes, they're the same person. Wait, no, they're two individual Time Lords.
It's because fandom is really split, and everyone who works on the expanded material are people like you and I, all of us. We are the people. They're all fans just like us. So they all have their own opinions, and they want to. Like, if I was hired to do it, oh, believe me, I'd be drawing the connection real firm. But then if one of you was doing it, they're definitely not the same people. That's all it is,
Yeah. I think for me, I don't like the idea that it's just one Time Lord, because they also tried to. I think there was like a book or something that tried to say that the monk was also an incarnation of the Master.
Well, he was in the 80s when I first got into Doctor Who lore. It had been established in an RPG game book. That the Master, the monk, and the War Chief were all the same incarnations of the same character.
Yeah,
it doesn't really make sense. I personally like the idea because I don't like there being a lot of rogue Time Lords running around because I think it diminishes them. But it doesn't really make a lot of sense because the meddling monk and the War Chief are so different, and the War Chief and Master are a lot alike, but the meddling monk acts like a totally different character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I guess that is it. That is our review of the War Games, and that is it for this live stream. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you to our two guests, Landry Q. Walker and Joe Kryler, for joining us for our discussion. We will be back next week, the week before Doctor Who properly returns.
Yep.
It's exciting.
Next week, and then we just wait like 2 more days, and then it's out.
Yeah,
yes.
Literally. I'll be at work, so I'm going to be like radio silent. No looking at my phone at anything. I'll just use my phone to clock in and out of work, just to pay for lunch. That's it. Stay away from the internet until I go and watch it.
I'm probably going to get some.
I will be here in 2 weeks to weigh in on the new episode. I will be here in 2 weeks.
For 2 episodes.
2?
Well, for the 2 episodes, yes.
Yes.
But then, good night. Good night now. ALLONS-Y. what you're saying.